Hi everybody, it's Tuesday and we are on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange with Jim Cramer to talk about the markets and Dow 26,000, Jim, it's incredible.
It's not multiple expansion. We're just getting rather dramatic increases in earnings from the companies that have reported. Start with JP Morgan, that number was crystal clear, great. Obviously, Citi not in the Dow anymore. Wells Fargo, a good quarter not in the Dow. But when you get JP Morgan, what that says is Goldman Sachs, even though it's trading where it might be a little bit better than expected. United Health with a remarkable number, a huge guide up, very, very significant for the Dow. Merck with some key Truda results that are very significant for the Dow because this is small cell. This is a type of lung cancer that's terrible, and they're immediately going to be first line. So that is additive to earnings. So when you have additive to earnings Merck, additive to earnings JP Morgan, when you have additive to earnings UNH, what that says is it's not price to earnings multiple expansion, which is what we don't want if you're bull. It's the actual E going up, not the M going up. That's very important for people to understand. If it were the M going up, the multiple, then this rally would not have legs. The fact is that it's the E going up, and that's very positive.
On January 4th, when the Dow hit 25,000, President Trump said our new number is 30,000. Is that far-fetched in your view?
He makes himself irrelevant with those comments. What he should just do is speak softly, carry a big Dow.
Huh. What about to people who want to sell in this environment right now?
I'm always in favor of people who want to take profits, go over your portfolio, take a look at what you think's up too much or what you want to trim back. I think it's good. We talk about this all the time in Action Alerts Plus. Remember, we need to see the dollar continue to go down and interest rates keep going up and oil going up, but not to a level that exceeds what would start hurting the earnings for a very red hot group, which is the airlines. So always, and never, look, no one should ever turn a profit into a loss. Bulls make money, bears make money, hogs get slaughtered. At the same time, remember, when you sell, the stocks do continue to get higher, but if we do get this 232, remember, I've been saying over and over again for Action Alerts people that the big negative could come if the president answers back on the trade war that's been waged against our steel industry by Wilbur Ross saying that there's a 232 violation, which means we have to preserve through national defense the steel industry. This is something that Truman believed in very strongly. It has not left us. We don't want our tanks made by Chinese steel, and that could be your next buying opportunity if you do want to do some selling.
Well, even with stocks that have run up like Boeing, I mean, there are still price target raises there.
There's no choice. I mean, when a stock's run up, like Raviv over at Citi, he's been dead right on Boeing. But he's been dead right, but the stock's overrun his price target, so he has to raise his price target.
Jim, what was your reaction to Larry Fink's message to companies on corporate social responsibility?
Look, I think that when you're as huge a shareholder as he is, and you have to endlessly look into all the different social responsibility questions that are on the proxy, it would really help for the companies to say, listen, we are very responsible. If they are very responsible, then what happens is, geez, you know what? It certainly relieves the pressure on everybody, and that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, and to your point, I mean, $6 trillion in assets.
Yeah, a very good conference call, by the way, if people want to learn a little more about how stocks work right now.
Was that the best financial stock so far that is reported, in your view? BlackRock?
No. I think JP Morgan, and then Citi, and then BlackRock, and then PNC, and then Wells Fargo.
And of course, we get Goldman Sachs and Bank of America later this week.
Bank of America should be tremendous because they've got a huge deposit base, the largest in the country. Bank of America is going to be a very big taxpayer that is going to have its tax go down. They are still taking costs out. They still have way too much in terms of regulatory overhead that they can get rid of. And I think their story is going to be about technology and their mobile offering, which is very strong. The non-performing assets are going to go down big, and I think Brian Moynihan, who is not, he doesn't puff out his chest, but I think he's delivered a very fine quarter. Lloyd Blankfein, of course, we don't want him to retire. That would be very bad. But Lloyd Blankfein, they do need to better explain how Marcus is doing. They need to better explain their technology, which is very strong. And mainly what I think Goldman really has to do is say, you know what, we've got things that we're trading, whether it be Bitcoin, whether it be currencies, because the dollar's been very weak, that are making it so that we're going to readjust where we make our money. It's not going to just be in fixed income. That would be a godsend if they can tell that narrative.
All right, Jim, there are many more stocks we're going to talk about, but you have to go to actionalertsplus.com to watch us. But before we go, let's just acknowledge that incredible victory over the weekend.
I mean, one of the things I would stress is we're not done yet, Eagles. There's a lot of sense suddenly that the Eagles are cocky. I spent a lot of time talking to management. This management runs scared like you wouldn't believe. And the idea that they're cocky, if anything, the Vikings are looking through the Eagles to be able to play the Patriots, which may also be wrong on that side. Jags look good. So, I mean, I think that for the Vikings, it could be a trap game. I think when you come to Philadelphia, it's a different experience than people realize. Is the team perfect? Is Foles as good as Wentz? Well, you know what? There's 52 other guys out there. The D was unbelievable. Compare the defense by the Eagles in the second half against the defense by the Vikings in the second half. Everyone knows that Ryan is a very young breeze, that Ryan had a lot on the line, that the Falcons were the hottest team coming in. All we heard about was Julio, and how quickly the defense was flying around, how good the run game is, how Matty is hot. Matty coming back to Philadelphia because he went to Penn Charter, which is a school that we couldn't go to because he must be rich. I wasn't. And I do feel very strongly that when you come to Philadelphia, it's a different atmosphere. There's a different atmosphere in the locker room. This is a team, okay? It's a team of people. Frank Reich, the offensive coordinator, is rather extraordinary. Again, man with quiet demeanor. Jim Schwartz has no demeanor at all. He just gets the job done, defensive coordinator. Coach Peterson, as he said, we're not done yet. No reason to celebrate. It's the Vikings that are doing the celebrating. Vikings, trap game. Remember, you have to beat us in order to be able to get to the Super Bowl. That seems to have been lost on the Vikings and Mr. Wilf.
All right. The battle continues.
Yes.
Jim Cramer, thank you so much.